Hey CCP, Miss G here. Hey, I hope you are safe. I hope you are well. I hope your families are too. I am missing you a ton, and I'm so sad not to get to hear your beautiful singing voices. Today, I'm going to continue, however, taking you through something called music theory. Theory in music is where we write the notes, or we learn to read the notes, or other musical symbols, okay? The last time I did this with you, we were working on the packet that I provided online for you and your family. The packet is called Know Your Notes, okay? And last time we looked at that page, and then we learned the letter names of the space notes. We learned the letter names of the line notes. And then we did some combinations on the next page of the line and the spaces. Do you remember what we learned or what we reviewed? We reviewed that the line notes, that there were 5 of them, and the space notes, there were 4. And one way we learned that in my class was to use a hand staff, because our fingers have 5, just like the staff. So I have 5 lines on my staff when I count from the bottom up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have spaces in between the lines. Remember, the spaces don't have a line going through the middle of their head. Guess what? Those are actually called note heads. The circles that we draw are called note heads, okay? So here's my lines, and here are my spaces. Let's count the lines together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's count the spaces together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's review the names of the line notes. There's a poem to help us. We could use the one that they told us in the packet, or we could use Miss G's poem. Do you remember what it is? Elephants, going, backwards, doing, flips. Or elephants go backwards doing flips. You could say it either way. Elephant starts with the letter E, so this is the note E. Go starts with G. This is G. Backwards starts with B, B. So this is a B. Doing starts with D, D. This is a D. And flips starts with the sound, which is F, okay? So elephants go backwards doing flips. So if I look at my notes on this page, and this is a review from last week, I can see E, G, B, D, F. E for elephants, G for go, B for backwards, D for doing, F for flips. Those are the names of my notes, just like they are when I show them on my hand. Right? And in between that are spaces. And the spaces spell a word. Can you figure out the word? F-A-C-E? Face. Face. Did you sound out the word face? Then you're right. That is what we have. The word face. F-A-C-E. On the packet, we're going to be today on page 3E, and it says, name the notes. Each measure spells a word. So in each space, from the beginning to the next bar line, that's what that's called, and then from the bar line to the next bar line, and from the bar line to the next bar line, in between those spaces, those are called a measure. So at the top it says each measure spells a word. So there's going to be 4 notes that spell a word in this measure. There are 4 notes that spell a word in this measure. 4 notes in this measure. Okay? So I'm going to get a little closer to the screen with my work so that I can show you what I'm doing here as we go, right? So, and I'm reading these backwards, parents, because they look backwards to me on my screen. So if I jumble it up, forgive me. All right, I'll try not to jumble it up. The first note is on the first space. There's no line through the head. So it's the face note that starts on the bottom. Remember, if I hold my paper up like this, just like Miss G is, and I can tell that this note is further toward the ground than this note. This note's going up toward the ceiling. So I know this one is lower. So it's going to start on my lowest space on the staff. Do you remember what note is the first space? Get your hand staff out. Think about your notes. F, A, C, E. What note is this? I hope you said F. So I'm going to right now take my pencil and write in the note F. That's going to be the first note in my first word that I'm spelling. Then I'm going to go to 1, 2, 3, the fourth space. It doesn't have a line going through its head, so it's a space note. Here's my hand staff. 1, 2, 3, 4. F, A, C. I hope you said the letter. Did you say E? Now we have an F and an E in our first word. If you said E like I did, good job. If you didn't, fix it so it says E, okay? The next one is on the bottom line. It's got a line going right through its head, and it's closer to the floor when I hold my paper up. So that's going to be the first line note. Elephants go backwards doing flips. What's the first letter? Elephant starts with a what? Did you say E? Got another E. 2 in a row. Did you notice they look different, but they're the same note? How can that be? Well, one of the E's is at the top of the staff, so it's going to have a higher pitch. The other E is at the bottom of the staff. It's going to have a lower pitch. I'm going to show you using my recorder, which you will play when you get to 4th grade. And I'm going to finger the note E. Here's what low E sounds like. Here's what high E sounds like. It's the same fingers, by the way, but I just take my thumb and stretch it. Now I make this sound. Low E, high E. Which one comes first in our word? High or low? Did you say high? So it's high E and then low E. I'm going to play it in that order. Here's high E and low E. Can you hear the difference? You should be able to. What was our first note? It was an F, wasn't it? So here's an F. Then it had high E, then low E. So far I've got the word fee. That's a word, isn't it? But they're asking me to put one more letter in before my bar line. So I've got one more letter to do. Is it a line or a space note? It's got a line through its head. Is it on 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope you said 4. Hand staffs up. Elephants going backwards doing. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got my D. And now I spelled the word feed. That's how we do all of these. We look to see on our next word if it's a line note or a space. It's a space. Is it on space 1, 2, 3, or 4? 1, 2, 3. Is it F, A, C, or E? I hope you said it was a next note. Line or space? It doesn't have a line through the middle, so it's a space. Is it on 1, 2, 3, or 4? 1, 2. So we say F, A. A is the second note. Next note, line or space. Has a line through its head, so we have to use our elephants poem. Elephants going backwards doing flips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Elephants going. It's a G, or elephants go. You could say it either way. Well, I don't know a word that says CAG. That isn't a word. I've got one more letter in that word. You know what? I'm going to be kind of smart. I'm going to go, did I already use that letter? Do you see how this note matches this one? Would it be okay if I said, hey, that's the same note? You bet it would. Musicians compare notes all the time. We look, and when I'm playing the piano, I'm going, oh yeah, the same note. Here it is, same note. And pretty soon my brain starts to just know it, okay? So there's that note again, fourth space. 1, 2, 3, 4. F, A, C. Now I can add my letter. Let's see if it's spelled a word. C-A-G. E is silent. C-A-G. Cage. So we have feed, cage. Sounds to me like they might be talking about going to the zoo or some kind of lions who are needing to be fed, who might be in a cage, right? All right. Miss G's going to the third measure on the top line, and she's counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a lot of ways to get answers, aren't there? I know that I had to count to 5 to get that, and I know that line notes have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Elephants going backwards doing flips. 5 is an F for flips. My next note, I'm looking again. Line or space. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, F, A. Hey, I think I've already used that note. Have I used that one already? Are they the same? It's okay to say, hey, I've seen that before. Have I seen this one? Let's see if it matches it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't use the fifth one, but I've got elephants going backwards doing. It's a D. F-A-D, fad. That's a word. A fad is like, something that's popular for a while. Like maybe a favorite song that you used to like was popular. That was maybe a fad. Or maybe you had a certain style of clothing that you wore for a while, and that's a fad. Okay, but that's not the whole word. We better figure out this last note. Have we used this one? I see it. I also know it's on the bottom line because I'm smart. I don't actually need to look back. I know it's on line 1 using my hand staff. Line 1 is elephants, right? So I'm putting in my E. And I've got feed, cage, fade. Now the A becomes a long sound, doesn't it? It's not a fad anymore. It's an A, fade. Okay, good. And we just need to finish doing that on the page. So Miss G's going 1, 2, 3, line. 1, 2, 3. Elephants go backwards, and I write in my note. And it's already there, right? Line or space, space, F-A, C-E. It's an A. And I'm just going to do these just like that for my whole page. Is Miss G going to do all those with you? No, because you're smart. You're going to do the rest of them by yourself, okay? So if you need to stop the recording and finish these, that would be a good idea. I'm going to go on now to the bottom of the page, and then you can turn me back on to figure out the bottom of the page, okay? It says, memorize. The lines are E, G, B, D, F. And it shows you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've been using that, haven't we, that formula? The spaces are F, A, C, E. So I'm going to memorize those. Now, how am I going to do that? Well, I've already given your hand staff. That helps you memorize them. Okay, another thing I can do is I can close my eyes and visualize them. I can see them. E, G, B, D, F. And I can say them over and over again until I can do it faster. E, G, B, D, F. F, A, C, F-A-C-E. Okay, so I can try and start slowly memorizing, then getting faster. I can do it with my poem, elephants go backwards doing flips, and then I can do it without my poem. E for elephants, G for go, B for backwards, D for doing, F for flips. And I want to get those stuck in my brain. Okay, I want them to be stuck, because then when I play any instrument, recorder, guitar, piano, and you know Miss G plays piano, any instrument I choose, I can play in a band if I know my letter names, okay? And these are for the treble clef, and that's what we've been working on. I'm going to go on to the next page. If you're not done yet, turn it off and then turn it back on, okay? The next one that we're doing is 1, and this one is, let's see, that was 3E. This must be 3F. It kind of got cut off at the top of the page, didn't it? So we're on 3F at the top of the page. It says musical spelling. Hey, we're still spelling words. They're giving us more practice, but they're making a little mini sentence out of it. So now we get to add more to our words, okay? So it says number 1, did you, then it shows your 4 blanks, the cat. Did you blank the cat? So I got to figure out these notes. Is it a line or space? Ask yourself that question. It's a line. The line formula, E, G, B, D, F. Did you memorize them? E, G, B, D, F. So now, if you got good at memorizing, you might not even have to say the poem anymore. You might have it in your brain. Line or space. F-A-C. Did you get it? Line or space. Bottom line. What does it start with? Did you memorize it? Looks like a word we just did to me. And the last one, line or space. Count it up. It's a line. E, G, B. I remember that word from the page before, but I noticed something. The word from the page before had the notes in a different order. Did you notice that the F on this one is high F and the one on the other page was low F? So this one sounds high F. The one on the other page sounded low F. Can you sing those two? See if we can do a high F. That's pretty high. Or that's pretty low. High F. Low F. We have to know the difference, don't we? Okay. So we've got a sentence now. Did you feed the cat? It's actually a sentence that's ending as a question because there's a question mark at the end. Then it says number 2, I would like a blank sandwich. What kind of a sandwich do you like? My favorite's turkey. I don't think I can have turkey in music because there's no T, U, R, K, or Y in music. So I can't have a turkey sandwich because music only goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I wonder what I'm going to do. Let's find out what kind of sandwich I'm going to have. Line or space? It's a line. It's got it through its head. 1, 2, 3. E, G, Line or space? No line through it, so it's a space. F-A-C, Hey, easy peasy, 2 in a row. So I get to write down the same letter twice. And then the last note, line or space. No line through its head, so it's F-A-C or E. Where is it? Let's see if you get the same answer I did. Beef. A beef sandwich. I'm not sure that sounds very good to me. Does that sound very good to you? But guess what? Hamburgers are beef. So maybe if they would have said, I would like a hamburger, that would have sounded better. But we can't spell hamburger because we don't have any H's in music. So they had to kind of modify and do beef. Then it says, can you blank and subtract? I wonder if you can guess that one. I can guess that, but I better double check before I write it in, and I probably should use pencil in case I decide to guess. Line or space? Space. 1, 2, F-A. Does the word you were thinking of begin with an A? Line or space? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a line. E-G-B. And there's 2 of them in a row, so I can write it twice. Can you add and subtract? I bet you can, because you know math. And math is music, by the way. We add and subtract all the time. Okay, guys, so you're going to finish them. Wow, we got a nice long one there. Remember, you can turn this off. Put the blank in the car. Then it says, we had lunch in the blank. What is the doctor's blank? I'm going to let you figure those out. Turn off the tape if you need to. You're getting good at writing the letters, I bet. All right, we're on 3G. They are still having us spell words. You know how to do this, okay? But they're having us do something different. It says fill in the notes that spell these words. Yes, we're going to make some notes. So we're now going to go to step 2, writing actual music. So guys, they've given us these little dotted lines. They want us to trace around them, but I want to show you something. When I trace around the note B, I'm making a little half moon above the line and a little half moon below the line. I don't try and draw the whole circle, or you know what? It comes out really weird. So I do my little half moons. One thing I want you to be real careful of when you're drawing your notes is that when you make your half moons, you don't go above where you're supposed to, because this is supposed to be a space note. If I go too high, I'm going to have a line in the middle of my space. And then the person reading the note's going to go, wait a minute, I don't know if that's a line note or a space note. Music's going to stop. That wouldn't be good, because then the song would stop, right? So I'm going to make sure that I don't allow my notes to go anywhere except for in the line, or, in the space or around the line. If it's a space note, keep it so there's nothing overlapping another line. If it's a line note, be sure that it doesn't go too high or too low. It might overlap some spaces, and then I can't really tell what note that is. So I have to only go so that it's still showing part of the space above it and the space below it. So it's only going halfway. It's not going a whole circle around it. That's why the half moon works so good, because I go a half moon up to the line in a space note, a half moon down to the line in a space note, a half moon above the line, it's just a half moon, it's not a full moon, and a half moon below the line. And then my notes come out really nicely. Now, these were pretty easy because they gave them to us. Now we have to draw them ourselves. So we have to say, okay, they want to know where a C is. So I'm going to get my hand staff out and I'm going to say, elephant's going backwards doing flips. Oh, no C. Spell the word face. F-A-C. There's my C. It's in a space. Is it in space 1, 2, 3, or 4? F-A-C is in 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go to my page and go 1, 2, 3. I go up 3 spaces, I make my half moon, and I make my half moon to the line, not over the line, and my half moon to the line below, but not over the line, because remember, it's a space note. So I have to be real careful that I don't go above it. Okay? How about A? Is that a space or a line note? E.g. BDF. Those are my lines. FACE. Those are my spaces. Where is that F? FACE. I'm looking for, not F, I'm looking for A. Sorry, I said F. A is on the second space. So I'm going to go, okay, 1, 2. There's my second space. Half moon to the line. Half moon to the line below it. Don't go over it, Miss G. I almost did. Made it. How about my F? Well, that's a tricky one, because if I say FACE, I could use the bottom space. So I could put a note in here. Just put a little dot there to say I could put one right here. Or I have elephants going backwards doing flips, which means I could also put one on the top line. I'm going to show Miss G that I know there's more than one. I'm going to put one on the space, not going over that line, half moon to this line, above it, half moon on the line to the line below it. And guess what? I'm going to do another one up here. Above the line, half moon, below the line, half moon. Those are both F's. I can put 2 of them in. That would really show Miss G I know my stuff. Okay? And then I have an E. Hey, elephants, E. I'm going to put one on the bottom line because I know that's where it is. Half moon above the line, half moon below the line. I'm getting faster at it. But wait a minute. Elephants going backwards doing flips. E's on the first line. What about FACE? There's 2. I could also put one in the space at the very top because there's also an E in the top space. So a half moon to the line and a half moon to the line below it, not around it. Boy, I'm smart. I showed Miss G that there are 2 F's and 2 E's. If you play piano or guitar, you might know that there's more than one C, that there's more than one A, and we're not going to go there today because that gets tricky because it's off the staff, isn't it? But if you know those, you could put those in. I'd be like, wow, this person really knows music. You're going to continue making your notes. G, elephants going. And this is spelling the word gab. A, in my second space, half moon to the line, half moon below it. B, elephants going backwards. Third line, half above, half below. What if I made my note like this? Would that look like a note? No, it looks like an egg. And I can't tell if it's a B, or a C because it's in all 3 places at once. That would not work. Okay? So be careful as you're doing the rest of your work that you get all of those half moons and not bigger than that. I had to erase that one. It was making me not be able to see if it was a note. I'm going to fix the F that I did on the other cafe word. Okay, so we've spelled bead, and this word is cafe, and we've got gab. Down below we've got more words. Here's a big one, baggage. Okay, that's what you take with you when you go on a trip. It's like taking your suitcases with you. It's baggage. Here's cabbage. Kind of looks like baggage, but it starts with a C, and it doesn't have G's in the middle. It has B's in the middle. So you're going to finish doing all of your words, writing in all of your notes. making them look as beautiful as you can. Well, Miss G, throw your pencil. And you're going to do that by going half moon above, half moon below, half moon to the line, half moon to the bottom line below it. Remember, don't go more than one line or one space. Just make the half moons to keep them equal, okay? And I'm going to finish up real quick, giving you some time to do some of your own. And boys and girls, it took Miss G a really long time to be able to write notes. It's okay if they're not perfect, all right? You're working, and that's what matters. Try your best. Finish this page. So today, let's just go over what we've done. We started by spelling the words, figuring out the notes above them. That was 1, 3E. That was the first one we did today. And then we completed some sentences by also, this time, writing the words in and reading the notes. Okay? And then we got to actually write the notes in. So it was kind of like progressive, wasn't it? Okay? Progressive means we're adding on, all right? I think we have time to do one more page today because you guys are going to be turning this off in between. Okay, this is a note review page. So this is where we go, hey, what am I doing on this page? I'm reviewing, but I see something that might be kind of tricky. So I think I should help you with this page, okay? It tells us it's a note review. It says name the line notes. So all they want us to do is say E, G, B, D, F. And I'm going to write those in underneath my notes to remind myself elephants go backwards doing flips. I wrote in my notes. Those are my line notes. You know these. How about your space notes? They spell the word what? You got it. Case. I'm writing in my notes. Now, down here it says draw the treble clef on the staff below and write the letter names in of the notes. That's kind of tricky. We haven't drawn in any treble clefs, but look at all this nice workspace we have down here. So Miss G is going to show you today how to draw a treble clef, okay? It's pretty fun. Treble clefs look like this. Second graders, we worked on this earlier in the year, all right? And they are also sometimes called a G clef. You know why? Because the second note in our scale, that is a line note, is G. And this little curl goes around the G line. That's why it's sometimes called a G clef, okay? So when I draw my treble clefs, I'm going to put this down so you can see it. When I draw my treble clefs, guys, see if I can do this. I'm going to be going backwards, so give me some grace on this. It's easiest if I just draw one straight line, just like this. And I'm going to draw I make it like a sail, like a sailboat. And I'm going to take my sail and I'm going to bring it around, just like that. I made that little sail. Do you see it? So a line straight down and then sail it around. Then I'm going to continue going and I'm going to take my little fat tummy right here and curl it. And then I can add my little curl at the bottom. I'm going to show you how I did that again. One straight line, one, sail around, curl it with a big fat tummy, around. I'm just going to keep practicing. Straight down, curl around, fat tummy, and then add my fun at the bottom. And did you notice something? They're not all exactly the same, but they're all the same kind of idea. And I want to make sure that when I make my sail, I do it to the right of my line, and my tummy has to be to the left. It always has to be there. I can make them a little fancier. Did you see that one's even fancier? I made it a little bigger. Guys, when I do it up here on the music staff, I want to show you something. I have to be real careful that I curl the tummy around the G. So I'm going to make, and I also have to curl my sail through the second line. So I'm going to put a line right here to show you that this is line 2. Actually, it's line 4, Miss G. 2 from the top, 4 from the bottom. We better call it 4. And then this is G. And G is line number 2, right? So I have to be sure that my sail goes around 4 and that my tummy goes around 2. So I'm going to show you. Here's my line straight down, and did you notice I let a little bit hang over, didn't I? The top of the staff. I'm going to bring it through the second line or fourth going up, and then my tummy comes around the second line. That's my G. And then I can take my tail and just bring it down and around. Okay? So I've added my treble clef. They asked me to do that. It said, draw the treble clef on the staff below and then write the letter names of the notes. Now, there's some tricky stuff here. You know what? This note and this note aren't on the staff. Do you see it here at all? Do you see them here? No. They are below the staff. So I know this note is my E, so I'm going to write that one in. And I'm going to write all the rest of mine in going up because I know E, and then if I go to the very next one, it's a space, it's F. My next line note, G. My next space note, A. They're going in order. Do you see it? My next line note, B. And my next space note, C. It went in order. And boys and girls, we call this scale order. It's going scale-wise. When it goes scale-wise, it goes line, space, line, space, line, space. If this note is a line, excuse me, this one, the one below it is a space. Do you see there's no line through its head? And if this is an E, and this is F, G, A, B, C, we're going up the musical alphabet. If this is E, F, G, remember when we get to G, we start over again with A, because A comes after G in music, because it only goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Or in this case, it started on E, so it's E, F, G, A, B, C. Now, if I go backwards from E in the alphabet, and because I'm going to the one right before it, can you think of the letter before the letter E in the alphabet? Well, let's say our alphabet, A, B, C, D, E. What did we say right before E? A, B, C, D, E. Did you say D? That's what this note is. The one right here that is before E is D. It's going right up the scale. What do you think comes before D? Because this is the line note just below D. What note do you think would come below D? Well, let's figure it out. A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, E. What came before D? I hope you heard me say it a little louder. I said C. So now we should be going in order. Let's see if we are. C, D, E, F, G. And boys and girls, lots of music starts on C because this is the middle of the piano. It's also what we call middle C. It's going to be very important to us. So a lot of times we start on C. Let's do it again. C, D, E, F, G. What comes after G in music? There's no H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, V, W, X, Y, or Z. It goes directly back to A. So when we get to G, we say A, B, and there we are. We landed on a C. Hey, did you notice that we landed on a C here? And it starts on a C here? That's a musical scale. It starts on a note and ends on the same note. That's what scales do. Okay? Alrighty. On the next one, guys, they're asking you to write the letter names in. We've been doing this. We say to ourselves, line or space. Line through its head. Which one? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. 1, 2, 3. Elephants go backwards. It's a B. And we know all those notes. And now we've learned the new one. Do you remember which one that one is? So when you get here, remember this one is the same as this one. I'm going to write it in just so I don't forget. And when I get over here below the staff, I'm going to remember that this note is the same as this one. I'm going to write it in so I don't forget. And then you're going to fill in the rest of them because you already know them. At the bottom it says draw the proper note above each letter name on the staff below. You got this. This is easy peasy. You already did this on the other page. You're going to say to yourself, okay, they want me to draw the note A. So I know that an A is F-A-C-E. It's on the second space. I'm going to make my half moon above and my half moon to the line below. Remember, it cannot go through the lines at all if it's a space note. If it's a line note like the D, half moon above, half moon below. Hey, I might want to make more than one because I learned a new D below the staff. I could put them both in. And then I'm going to go on and finish those. I could maybe put 2 C's in as well, remember, now that I know where those are. And you already knew that some of the other notes had 2, like F. I'm going to put my new C in there as well. Boys and girls, you are becoming music writers. I hope you were turning off in between. This is a lot. Not expecting you to do this in one day. Take some breaks. Do 1 page. And then do another page. But Miss G just wants to make sure you have everything you need in case you want to do more than 1 page. Okay? I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And if you are getting any work done at all, your teachers are proud of you. If you're not able to work right now, let us know why, okay? We just want to be able to help you, and we want you to be able to be learning and still growing that brain of yours and helping your whole self to be a lifelong learner. Because learning doesn't stop even when you're done with school. Learning can go on forever, okay? Have a wonderful weekend, guys. I'm really glad to be your teacher, and I miss you a ton. Bye-bye.